is up, YouTube? We're back. First off, we're gonna start with some of the Master Duel events, and then we're gonna talk about our new series that launched, which is just season 2 of the Iron series. Which only the first episode is out, and it's gonna be coming out weekly, so stay tuned for that. Um, but New Duel Pass has been announced and everything. So uh, we're getting the uh, Noble Arms Caliburn as one of the or as that the mate or something. No, I think that's the icon. We get the Snake Eyes Flamberge Dragon. Oh no, we do get the Caliburn as a mate, and then we get the Snake Eye icon and everything like that. For you people that like Goat, because Time Travel 2004, where it's the OCG specifically of November 25, 2004, which I believe I saw someone say is our equivalent of GOAT format, uh, and everything for the TCG. So if you are a fan of GOAT, there's a tryout duel for all you people that like that. I personally do not. I don't like GOAT format. But uh we're gonna move on to we got a new solo mode, and it's Eldritch. So I haven't played it yet. I'm gonna play it later at some point.
Wait, you didn't tell me we had a new solo mode.
Yeah. I mean, you're behind on them anyway, aren't you?
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that.
And then last and in my opinion, probably last not least, maybe least, I don't know, is the ban list. Branded opening went to 1. Water Enchantress went from 1 to 2. Super Heavy Samurai Soul Piercer went from 3 to 2. And Parallel Exceed went to 2. As for the cards that went to 3, we got King of the Swamp and Prank Clouds Meow Meow Mew. So, Woo, personally, this is an okay list. It doesn't fix a lot of the issues that's, for what the best decks are on Master Duel, in my opinion. But that's just, that's just my opinion. However, speaking of best decks, I'm going to move straight into, I know I wrote down the point first, Stefan, of talking about our series, but it was a perfect segue to talk about Snake Eyes. So Snake Eyes are the best deck in the TCG and on Master Duel. So in Master Duel, it's people are mainly playing the Fire King Snake Eyes, but pure Snake Eyes are still seeing a lot of play. In Master Duel, it's just what's it called? It is just pure Snake Eyes because we don't got the good Fire King cards. I think this deck is really powerful, and it ends up moving to a. It moved the meta into an interesting point, I would say. Uh, so I think it moved the meta more from these big build board scary look at all my interruptions to a board that's really hard to out because everything floats and just comes back and stuff like that. And I think that we have been moving more towards resilient decks. Uh, then we have the whole stereotypical Yu-Gi-Oh! Is just about making 15 negates.
Yeah, that's interesting because I watched on stream boards get broken and then just rebuilt, and I'm sitting here going, God, that's really, really impressive. You know? Because like before, breaking a board used to feel like it would win you the game almost right then and there, and it still can because you can still OTK after breaking a board. but it felt like the games were actually trying to shift more towards beyond turns 1 and 2, which is just crazy to think.
Yeah,
If the format wasn't so priced out for a lot of players, myself included, because I'm not going to drop that kind of money onto a game I don't get to play very much. Um, I genuinely think this is the probably going to be one of those formats that later on down the line will be fondly remembered as a very, very interestingly fun format for people to play because it's very much the kind of Yu-Gi-Oh people want where I build a board, you break it. Okay, well I'm gonna break your board, I'm gonna break yours. It's a back and forth format.
yeah. I just I think it's just kind of interesting. That I think we started moving that way for tier, like, since tier format, because tier limits put out like two negates usually, maybe three or four, like, and everything at most, but pretty much it was less that they put out a ton, like 15 negate boards that doesn't actually happen that often as a lot of people think it does. And it was more that you couldn't break the board because everything just came back. And I think Snake Eyes is similar, where not everything necessarily just comes back immediately, but I think that since enough stuff floats, enough stuff comes back that it makes it harder to OTK, and it kind of goes into the idea of what we were talking about and what our buddy AJ started to play for before Snake Eyes came out, which was playing to turn 3 or even turn 4.
I learned a lot from watching him play and just going into being able to recover his plays and play back. I mean, there were moments where he just completely locked the other player out of the game and won, or just outright,
Mm,
ended them right there. But it also had that follow up play. And I think that was just how Yu Gi Oh's climate was shifting to, and why he did so well, too, was that he was already shifting towards that in a format where it was possible to do that. And now I subscribe to the ideology.
yeah. I think Snake Eyes are a good idea of that, because I know that the deck can OTK, but there is often times where not only on Master Duel when I play the pure version, but in the even in like on the stream there were feature matches where they couldn't OTK them after breaking their board. So it was the idea of playing to turn 3 or 4 is kind of crazy, because that used to be how Yu-Gi-Oh was played, and then we kind of moved back towards the 1 and 2 turn format and stuff, because Yu-Gi-Oh sped up a lot, and now we're back to it because the decks have gotten so powerful that everything is so resilient, and it kind of came in a weird loop.
The game's gotten so fast that we're actually going back to being able to play beyond turn 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
We're actually like to put it in like a nerdy gamer terminology, it's like playing an old game on like the Game Boy and you go beyond value 255, you're just wrapping around.
Mm-hmm.
You're gaining so much advantage and everything in these fast decks that you're able to just keep going,
Yeah,
you know.
I think one of
You're
the
no longer a cheetah, you're closer to being a gazelle now.
yeah I think one of the things that helps this deck a lot, the Snake Eye deck, and why it had 85% of the top of the last YCS's top 16, is there's 4 starters in the deck, and the deck has tons of room for non-engine and everything like that. And not only even that, like, even my build on Master Duel, where I only have one Flamebird Dragon, and I really want a second one, and I'm only running 2 Drolls instead of the 3 because I wanted a 40 card deck. Uh, I could probably cut like the droplets and then make that work. The one of sinful spoils of subversion Snake Eyes. Sometimes it's crazy. I don't think they played it in any of the top decks recently, but I know that some versions do. And and also like this field spell right here of theirs, this helps them play through Nibiru. So like the deck is so good at playing through everything. It's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
Cause Diabell Star is a starter. Because it gets you original sinful spoils. At the very worst, you send Diabell Star to get your play started. Um, Wanted searches the Diabell Star to get that. Ash searches Poplar to do that. Poplar searches Sinful Spoil Snake Eyes to get your plays going. There's so many lines in this deck that I understand why. I know because I've been playing it a little bit too on Master Duel, as I understand why it's so good and it's so like strong. Um, in my opinion, though, which tier 0 deck, since I've played both the two recent ones now, do I like the most? I still like Tearlaments more. I think Tearlaments is more fun to play. I just think that but I do like Snake Eyes too, and everything, because I like how consistent it is. But uh moving on to a more self topic, other than the builds and then the way that the kind of game has shifted, which I still find interesting. Our first episode has been out for almost a week of Iron Series Season 2, Episode 1. And we actually got our editor to throw stuff in and actually, do his job of editing videos. So, and I think he did a really good job.
Yeah, editing for us is really rough.
Yeah. I do love so Stefan, I'm not gonna give too much away, but Stefan, for example, freaking did a noise and everything where he went and everything, and it our editor threw in the moe sound meme. It was 10 out of 10. It was great. Go watch.
That didn't got me. 30 seconds. That's all you gotta do is like 38 seconds into the video. Just watch until then, and you'll get what our editor's about.
uh oh, I guess I could talk about, because I don't think I talked about this last time because it happened. But we got a Chaos Max structure deck as well on Master Duel.
Oh,
I mean, I'm not a big fan of Chaos Max, but in Blue Eyes. But if anyone wants to play Blue Eyes specifically, you can just spend 1,500 gems and play a bad Blue Eyes deck. So there you go. Or you play a good
or
Blue
you
Eyes
can
deck.
take or you can take my course that I will be presenting on this other website on how to be the best Blue Eyes player ever. I just ask that you sign a non-disclosure act if you never top with it, so that I never get bad publicity from my training and all the skills I'm teaching you.
That's a shot and a half. That honestly reminds me of those dueling back in dueling network days, where there's those duel academies where they teach you how to be better and stuff like that. I never signed up for them, but I just
I played in a lot of those because a lot of my friends were into them online ones. And I still know a lot of people from those days too. And it's hilarious because there are people that create classes on the internet and stuff now for Yu-Gi-Oh! And how to play better at it and
mm,
what deck ideas they're running through, to get them to the tops and everything like that. I won't go too far into it because I personally have never taken one of the classes, and I imagine they're probably good for people that don't understand it or understand the deck or whatever, but it's still, I don't know, rubs me the wrong way.
yeah.
It's,
I what's funny is the other day, Facebook does the memory stuff. It
yeah,
reminded me of okay, so like back in 2014 online, I was playing a pure up your artifact deck, which those weren't very good, but it was just, you know, but it won surprisingly enough on Dueling Network a lot because people were bad and would just blind MST stuff and hit your cards. And I ended up, I played against a dude that was part of one of those dueling academy or dueling guilds or whatever. And his whole fucking guild and clan pretty much showed up and everything and was spectating and typing in the spectator to comment and cheer him on. And I just completely fucking destroyed him. And so he got the leader or whatever, the person who said, you know, I'm the leader, I'm the best player, and everything. And so I went, okay, you want to play, I want to play you. And I went, sure. And then I played him and I kicked his ass. And then he begged me to join their thing. And I said, no.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, no, people always wanted me to join theirs, and it was kind of hilarious because I'm not that good at Yu-Gi-Oh at that point, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm awful at Yu-Gi-Oh, by the way. I put so much research into playing the game and all this other stuff. People go, man, it must come naturally to you. It's like, it doesn't. At any point when I'm good at this game, it's because I've researched way more than a person should into it, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like beating these people with my janky decks and stuff. And back then, they were genuinely trash decks. I found old deck lists and went, man, this sucks. And like, so I got recruited and did so many of those different things and stuff. Like, I just kind of fell into that whole Dual Academy stuff. But there was always drama, and wherever there's drama, there's me, I guess.
I know that, uh, here locally, there was a group at the library, and one of the people there thought he was really good when he wasn't. I'm not gonna mention
I beat him.
names. I beat him too. And his deck building philosophy was just wrong. You only need one of the searcher because the searcher
Went to
can't
high
search
school with that
itself.
guy.
You only need one of the searcher for this deck because it doesn't search itself and it's repeatable. No, you need three to always draw it. Is what he kept saying. But
Yeah.
but I think either he was trying to get people to build bad decks so he could always win. But and
There's that too, yeah.
oh, that's a
All right,
neat
you got
card.
anything else to cover in this one?
Uh, I guess only thing I can say is if you like old Yu-Gi-Oh, you should watch our Iron series because we're gonna be in old Yu-Gi-Oh for a while. And stay tuned every week for it. If at least just try the first episode of season 2. You don't need to watch season 1 to understand season 2. The only difference is we have an editor and there's technically more formats now than when we did it season 1. So check it out, please. It's probably our best video, and
Yeah.
I would say I think that's it. Oh, I guess we could talk about. We talked about it a little bit. I mentioned it in passing. How Snake Eyes got 85% of the top 16 at the last YCS, and how it's a tier 0 format. And we did say that. I guess we kind of talked about it. And the fact that it'll probably be remembered fondly, or if it's not remembered fondly because of the price point, when people come back and play this format, as what inevitably happens when all the cards get cheap, people will find out that it was probably pretty fun because the mirrors are kind of interesting. But uh, I think that's it. I don't got much more to talk about. I think we kind of covered uh, everything or all our points like pretty naturally. This might be a short episode because it felt like I don't know. It just kind of felt like everything went smoothly. So, if it's your birthday today, happy birthday! If you enjoyed the podcast, uh, we do this every 2 weeks on Wednesday, or well, we it's uploaded every 2 weeks. So every other Wednesday. And of course, and as always, have a wonderful
Have
day.
a wonderful